Executive Director of the American Coalition for Fathers and Children. We're based in Washington, D.C. We are actually a divorce reform and shared parenting organization. We're working on improving family law around the nation, and our mission statement in a nutshell is that we want to see people who are affected by divorce and the breakup of the family, or in cases of unmarried parentage, be treated equally in the courts. So I just look at what the data tells us, and the data is telling us that the family court system in this country is just very out of whack. We are not doing what is in the best interest of our kids, and when we're not acting in the best interest of our kids, we're typically not acting in the best interest of their parents either, and their extended family. So if we go and drill down into the data, it's very evident that there is a tremendous amount of inequality in the family courts today. Generally, as you go through the divorce courts in the country, there's about 1 million couples a year that go through the divorce courts, about 1.2 million children that are affected in the courts that actually experience their parents' divorce as well. And if you look at the breakout of what happens, about 85% of the time, mothers are awarded either sole custody or primary residency of the children. There's been a movement over the last 30 years to award a lot more joint custody, but the question is really not whether or not you have joint custody, but how much time do you have with your children. If 85% of the time children were being awarded to fathers and mothers were only spending 20 to 25% time with their children, that would be a situation causing an equal level of heartburn. That shouldn't be the case. Children actually want both parents fully engaged in their life. That's what the research is telling us. That's what the adults who experience their parents' divorce as children are telling us that they would have liked to have had, reflecting back on that experience. So when we look at this and what we're doing at ACFC, stated public policy in this country has always been, let's have strong families. We need strong families in America. Yet what we have is we have a system of bureaucracies and actual policy and statutes that don't serve to strengthen these fragile families. What it's doing is it's breaking those families apart. Our first comment on this is that whenever people call us and we get thousands upon thousands of calls a year for assistance, the first thing that we tell people is, can you save your marriage? Can you save your relationship? If that is not going to be the case, then what we say is, let's work to craft a parenting plan that keeps both of you maximally engaged in the life of your children, and your children maximally engaged with you. That's what we know. When children have a full relationship with both of their parents, even if the parents don't live together, that produces the best outcomes for children in these situations. In Illinois, we have a family law study committee that's charged with rewriting the statutes in Illinois at this point that affect marriage. The Illinois statutes were first enacted in 1977, the current statute. So we've gone 30 plus years without any significant revision to the statutes. 30 plus years ago, it was axiomatic that the kids went with the mother and the dad went away and paid child support. We're still operating under that paradigm across most of the country. Here we have a process where parents who are by and large fit are going to be contesting over who's going to remain the primary influence in the life of their child. That's a skewed platform to begin with. So what we have is a man takes a look at that situation, and as his children are being removed from him, what he tends to do is he'll get angry about that situation. When you look at a mother in the same situation, what she'll tend to do is get sad about that situation. So she'll tend to cry at the prospect of losing her kids. He'll tend to become angry and fight. And what our society has done is said, her emotion is valid, his emotion is aberrant. But that's a difference between men and women. The exact same situation. And if you look at the response that takes place in that situation, you see a completely different approach to the exact same situation. In one case, we're condoning this and saying, this is okay. In the other one, we're saying, well, that's proof that there must be something wrong with you, and that's justification to remove your child. If you get angry in a courtroom about your child being taken away from you, then opposing counsel will say, oh, this person has an anger issue. Well, you know what? I'll tell you what, take my kids away and see if I don't get angry about it, right? But society has said that's not a proper reaction. So you're penalized for your natural human emotion when faced with the situation of the removal of your children.
My name is Hans Olson. I'm 42 years old. I have two daughters. They are Claire Honor Olson and